Hey guys, we are back. I'm your host Avi. We have Rushan here, and you guys are watching the Real Nonsense podcast. We couldn't control our emotions for the last 1 week, and we thought we will take out an episode for related to this. Obviously, we have been very shocked after the demise of Sushant Singh Rajput and all the circumstances. I mean, he was a great actor, I think, which people are obviously realizing now, and his movies have started trending on Netflix. What we have been hearing is pretty disturbing stuff where, the late Sushant Singh Rajput has had to face in Bollywood even after having a great career. Mind you, audience, he was a superstar. He had no financial debts. He was a superstar. He had everything. He had no monetary issues. So there are things beyond all this, and we don't want to talk about depression and mental illness and all that stuff. That is again for a different day. Maybe we are not qualified enough to talk about it. But what we are going to talk about is we are going to talk about Bollywood from our perspective as an audience, how we see it. The word nepotism, which has been in news for the last 7 days, how we perceive to all that stuff. This is what is going to be the main topic of our discussion today.
In terms of India, we've seen nepotism everywhere, and it happens. I mean, it's a fact that nepotism is everywhere in all different kinds of fields, sectors, and uh, in terms of Bollywood, I think we all know who the big stars are, and we all know who were the big stars before. So yes, there is a group of people, there is a class of people who basically rule the Bollywood, I would say, the Hindi film industry. It's sad that such young, immensely talented people have to, have to struggle so hard to get into the limelight, to get into uh, such group of people, and to make a name for themselves. I think I remember I was watching one of the interviews of Sushant Singh Rajput, and I do agree with him what he mentioned, that nepotism is everywhere. So yes, it can. It is there in Bollywood, and it can coexist. Nepotism will be there because if you're a father who is a, if you're a father who are a film producer, or you're a filmmaker, director, and you have your son or daughter who is an actor, or a good singer or a dancer, so you would definitely give him or her some kind of opportunity to perform, and release a film for him or her. So yes, that's natural and it's understood. So that's, that way nepotism can definitely coexist. But if you are not giving opportunity to someone else who was probably chosen for a specific project, or if there's someone else who is preferred, and you use your powers to mingle with that, and change the face, then yes, there is a problem with that kind of nepotism. And that is what people are right now uh, fighting about. They are backlashing all these big names on Twitter and on social media, and it's because that these guys are responsible for not providing enough. Come on, there are news like, if you're a newcomer and you want your film to be released, these people have a lot of money, they have a lot of power, they buy your theaters, they buy the seats, they buy your viewers, and you don't have a space to release your film. So imagine you worked hard on a film, and mind you, filmmaking is it's glamour, it all looks good, but there is a lot of sweat and blood that goes behind. And when you do such a good hard work and you want to have your film released on such a platform, and you cannot, just because there is some bigger guy who doesn't want you to be that, that big, come to that big level, or have that popularity, and they can influence the market, they can affect your film and the business. And that's where, you kind of ask questions about who is the, or if there is a mafia in the Bollywood, if there is a film mafia, and if there is as you mentioned, a privileged class who runs the whole business.
We want to again be loud and clear as to what we think. I think there are similar voices being heard all over the country, and I completely agree with you. I mean, for that matter, you see any industry. I mean, suppose my father owns a company. He will want me to come and lead, but that doesn't mean it's only gonna be me. I mean, they're fine. I mean, that is one thing. I mean, you can have a doctor's child cannot become a doctor. The child has to still study to become a doctor. An engineer's son will still have to go and study to become an engineer. But I mean, a lawyer's son or a daughter will still have to go and study to become a lawyer. But I understand. I mean, you have Yashraj Films. I mean, Yashraj Films. I mean, your son. You will cast him. I mean, you will cast Vijay Chopra for films. That's how he entered Bollywood from Mohabbatein. I mean, he got film obviously. Fardeen Khan's first film was produced and directed by his father. So they will do it for you. Probably we don't know how Shah Rukh Khan is going to launch his son. Maybe he will come into Bollywood somehow. So I don't have a problem with that. That will coexist. Otherwise, how is a society? I mean, that then it is not the society we are living in.
I think, as you said, a doctor's son wants to become a doctor, and he can become a doctor. I mean,
So they
obviously,
can't. They will not inherit. Yeah, they don't
exactly.
inherit the
You have to
doctorness.
you have to study hard for it. You have to pass the exams. You have to clear all those levels, and then you get a certificate. You get a degree, and you become a doctor. But imagine a scenario where the institute doesn't take you just because your father is not a doctor, and they kind of regularize. They kind of make
That is the
such a
problem.
norms, and that is a problem. Everyone should get an equal opportunity to become what they want to, and I don't think Bollywood is such a space. There are a lot of people who know a lot of things, and they just don't want to speak up just because they don't want to lose what they already have. Everyone is scared in Bollywood. Everyone is living with that fear of trying to impress everyone and not to damage anyone, offend anyone by mistake, because in this industry, when powerful people, you can just do anything, and when you don't know, like you have to really, really struggle hard, and that's big shame.
I still cannot believe it. I mean, I see my social media is flooded with his pictures, and it is very hard to believe an actor like him had to go through all of that, because again, we don't know, and that is something which will be a mystery. I mean, what people say, only he knew, and probably it was a bigger pain. When we see the award functions, I used to follow award functions. I used to watch it as an entertainment until probably a decade back, maybe till 2010, 11. Maybe after that I haven't, because I used to see only a few people are attending those, only a few people are getting those. And I mean, this also pains me when I see two good films. I mean, for example, releasing in a single day, and you have a big production house, you have two Star Kids being launched, and you have a smaller movie with probably 800 screens. And the smaller movie is nice. It's a better movie than the big Star Kids movie. But the bigger Star Kids movie have got 2,000 screens, so they obviously get a bigger business. And surprisingly, they get the awards for the best debut. I mean, Vicky Kaushal did not get the award for the best debut, and it went to Suraj Panchali for Hero. and I thought Hero was one of the most awful films of that year. And I mean, and this has been done a lot of times. It's not for the first time. I mean, for an industry like us, as an audience, we have evolved, but I think the producers, the bigger producers, they don't understand what the audience wants. I mean, we actually get irritated if you cast somebody's son. No, we don't want to see it because, see, we have been seeing this from ages. Amitabh Bachchan's son is in the Bollywood. Vinod Khanna's son is in Bollywood. I mean, there are, but yes, Akshay Khanna is a very good actor. Ranbir Kapoor is a very good actor. Alia Bhatt, we can question her mind, we can question her intelligence, but that's none of our business as individuals. But she's a very good actor. But then there are bad actors as well. The director Anubhav Sinha had tweeted and he said the Bollywood Privilege Club must sit and introspect on how this is going on. I mean, you see, when a certain producer director does a coffee show and he calls only his friends and starts bitching about actors, I mean, not knowing what's going on. You're doing this because you are big. You have the privilege of, but then the guests whom you are calling, they're not the only actors in the country. I mean, it's a very sad state of affairs when we see that only now Nawazuddin Siddiqui in last 5 years, he's close to 45 years old, and only now in last 3-4 years he's getting that space internationally, the fame internationally. I mean, it's a shame that in our industry, in a country like India, where we have a population of more than 120 crores, and it takes 15 years to identify and praise an actor like, say, Irfan Khan or a Nawazuddin Siddiqui. I mean, Pankaj Tripathi is nearing 40s, and it takes so much time. I mean, to identify and praise an actor like Pankaj Tripathi to cast him. I mean, I saw him first time in Gangs of Wasipur. I think I don't remember seeing him. I don't remember seeing him because I have not seen a bigger movie where he was casted, because probably the producer director did not cast him. So why does only Anurag Kashyap need to launch these people? I mean, there's an actor called Vineet Kumar Singh. Vineet Singh. He acted in few movies. He acted in a movie called Mukkabaz, and he's a terrific actor who's now getting shows. I mean, he did a show called Betal 2 weeks back, and he has done other shows. It has taken him 10-12 years. I mean, I think he debuted in a smaller role in Gangs of Wasipur. It took him 10 years to actually find Mark in Bollywood because nobody else will cast him. I mean, how are the movies in Bollywood only, I mean, based on these guys? When a Karan Johar produces a movie called Gunjan Saxena based on the fighter pilot, why do you only have to cast Janhvi Kapoor in that? Don't you have other actors in the country? No, I don't have a problem with Janhvi Kapoor, but I thought her first movie was not great. Dhadak was not a great film. And with Karan Johar, yes, he will cast bigwigs only, but they could have found a newer face. They could have, I mean, when they say that talent hi nahi hai, no, that is not the case. We have a lot of talent in the country.
It feels like, they just want to keep this circle and keep this community with themselves. They don't want to allow people to enter and take advantage of such. I mean, okay, being a star is a really great thing. You have a lot of, you get a lot of fame. There is a lot of glamour. You have a lot of influence over the people, and you tell amazing stories, and that's the good side of it. This is a problem in India. When you know somebody, that's only the work gets completed.
That is a fundamental problem, actually. That is a fundamental problem, not just Bollywood. I think the entire country, that if you know someone, you ask him to do something for you, which is not right, and that is the problem. That is where the whole problem begins. I mean, Bollywood has now become a family show. I mean, there is just a tweet I'm just going to read out, which Ranveer Shore, the actor Ranveer Shore, had posted 5 days back. This is a 3-part tweet. I'll just read you out. So he reads, the tweet is like this: this actually unfolded on a popular Bollywood award show. A star kid is co-hosting the show. They announced the next actor Next category for Best Actor, the nominees are played out and the star kid is one of the nominees. Surprise, surprise. The second tweet is to present the award, the hosts invite two esteemed film personalities who happen to be the star kid's parents. What a sweet coincidence. The presenter opens the envelope and announces the winner to be, drum roll please, the star kid, of course. What a Kodak moment. The star kid walks from the host dais to accept the award, makes a short thank you speech, and heads back to hosting the rest of the show, like business as usual. This is how mainstream Bollywood is a family. The end. There are many films which we have seen, like a movie like Masan. It is a very smaller film. I mean, I still can't believe it did not make so much money. And I think as Bollywood, I mean, how the way the media is now blaming the bigwigs. The another problem, a bigger problem, is how as an audience also, I mean, we let Sushant Singh Rajput down. I mean, as an audience, we also did not do great stuff. I mean, when you see a movie like Race 3 making 180 crores in the box office, and then there is a movie called Son Chidiya. I think not many people even know about it. It was one of Sushant Singh Rajput's last film. It's based in Chambal. It's a dacoit movie. It's one of the finest movies of 2019. One of the finest, and it made only what 7 to 8 crores. It stars Ranveer Shore, Sushant Singh Rajput, and Manoj Bajpayee. What a finest movie! But no, the box office grossers, they come. I mean, Chichore made money. Okay, very good. But there are many other movies which, I mean, as an audience, why are we not rejecting such movies completely? I mean, people we are going to watch. I mean, even as an audience, people are not. So after now Sushant Singh Rajput's one movie which was under production. It is the Indian version of The Fault in Our Stars. So it was supposed to come directly on Hotstar Disney. But now the entire, I mean, I'm seeing tweets everywhere. They are requesting to release the movie in theaters so that people can get one last chance. But guys, you could have watched them before, and not just Sushant Singh Rajput. There are other films which come out every year, which are mind blowing, beautiful smaller films. We have failed to recognize talent when a guy like, I mean, Jitendra Kumar, he released a beautiful movie on Netflix the other day called Chaman Bahar, which nobody knew about. But I'm 100% sure. I mean, guy like the big wigs in Bollywood. I don't know what's stopping them to make a movie with him. In India, somehow, even I think the theater owners are responsible for this. That they are only buying these kind of films. I was seeing a tweet before. I mean, just to deviate from the topic, because I was seeing that a month before when there was a movie which released on Amazon Prime a week back called Gulabo Sitabo of director Sujit Sarkar of Amitabh Bachchan and Ayushmann Khurrana. So the theater owners were a little angry that why are you releasing these movies on this platform? Why are you not waiting for the theaters to open? So Anurag Kashyap actually came and said, fuck you. I mean, because Anurag Kashyap's movies have always found audience on TV, and his movies have been watched again and again after it is released. So Anurag Kashyap said, like, when my movies were lying down, you never picked and played my smaller movies. So now when we are getting a chance to showcase the films in a digital platform, now you are saying all this just because you are unable to release a big star's film. So that is what the problem even with the theater owners are. And that is because the problem is created by the privileged society, the bigger film companies who actually, sabotage a business deal. They make deals in such a way that you have to release my film in 3,000 screens. And, because of that, the other filmmakers are not able to release. Netflix and Amazon, at least it gives a chance to say, I mean, a Jitendra Kumar to make a very small film and still cater to a larger audience.
I truly agree with your point that we as an audience are equally responsible for supporting this kind of behavior and this nepotism which is going around. The way the films have been evolved in India, there were a few before, and a lot of young people joined in, and then they worked in the industry for years. We have been used to watching them, but then now also partly we are in fault because we don't go and buy movies of other actors just because they haven't worked in industry for more than 10 years,
That's the
or just
thinking we
because
have to
they're
change.
not a big
That is
name.
something.
And that's definitely something that we need to change about. Problem with piracy in India, which I guess somehow also affects the business, but not as much as how these privileged class or the bigger producers do, because as you said, when they have a deal with the distributors, when they have a deal with the theaters, the only advantage of these big names is that they've been working for years, so they have a big influence, and the audience are on their side because you're a star. But then the dirty business that you do behind the screen, which is not letting the younger talented people to get equal opportunity as you do, is really a shame. And I think that people now are starting to realize, and they are voicing this, and coming 10 or 15 years are not going to be the same. There are a few families which kind of rule, and when we all know what happened with Vivek Oberoi. So even if you're a star kid, if you don't have good relations with them, they can eventually destroy your career. Even though if you belong to, if you have a father who's, I mean, look at Dharmendra, look at his sons. I mean, Sunny Deol, Bobby Deol. Right now, Bobby Deol, he doesn't get movies. The last movie he got was because of Salman Khan.
Purely as a viewer point of view, when you are giving a best debut award to somebody like Ananya Pandey, just because she starred in a movie called Student of the Year 2, produced by a big producer, I mean, this is not something, I mean,
Who sponsor the award function?
there were other actors, I think, in 2019. Come on, like, you can't tell me that Ananya Pandey was the best debut actress for 2019. I'm okay with Gully Boy winning so many awards, but then there was a movie called Super Deluxe. It's a Tamil movie. And I was actually shocked when that movie actually was not sent for the India's selection to the Oscars. I mean, it's fine. You make Gully Boy. I mean, in India, again, I mean, the thing is, they had money to campaign for and they did it, but on merit, I thought it's again a polarized opinion, but I thought Super Deluxe was the movie which should have gone. You are giving Apna Time Aayega as the best lyrics. Everything else is fine, but there was a song called Teri Mitti for the movie Kesari. I think that was the best song of the year. I mean, it was so touchy. Bollywood has done this throughout, and this is the problem with it. And I mean, the Privilege Club, why we are titling this as the Bollywood Privilege Club is because these sons and daughters, or children of all these, it's okay to give them a chance. But even if they do bad or shitty work, you're going to keep offering them movies until, if you give them 10 movies, at least maybe one will work.
If you're a fresh actor, I mean, you will work, you will slog your ass for 4 years, and you will hardly get a project
I would be
which is
very happy
that
to
big.
watch an actor who has done indie films in India to actually make his way to a big stream Bollywood movie. Come on, man. You don't have to give him a chance. They don't even give them a supporting actor role. I mean, you don't give him a lead role, give him a supporting, give them. I don't see supporting actor roles also. It's all so glossy.
Film industry, when you have a supporting actor, you're considered like nothing, and that's also the fact that we as an audience
Our
don't,
industry,
you
yeah,
know,
I mean, as an audience, I think we are evolving now. That star thing has actually gone. I mean, no longer Shah Rukh Khan's movie only works on his name. Salman Khan's movies have started flopping if they're not good. So you cannot no longer come
I,
and
I,
show
I think I
your.
think from coming few years, it's going to definitely affect his film business with whatever is going on. Again, Leonardo DiCaprio, he did such a small role in Django Unchained.
Like
Like
1 hour, he came for 1 hour. I mean, come on, there's no ego. I mean, if there are roles where, say, a Shah Rukh Khan or a Salman Khan can fit in, I mean, I don't know. It's their choice. Okay, fine, but why can't they? I mean, the problem is here in Bollywood, what in the West, when they write a film and then cast. Here you look at Salman Khan, okay, this is him, I will write the story. Well, because Salman Khan is available, because you're going to pay him 50
Because
crores.
also Abhinav Kashyap has rightly voiced against, what happened to his career after the first Dabangg movie, and how the family is
And I have
trying to
not seen
kill.
him direct anything. I think he did a movie called Besharam, which flopped. And I've not seen him direct anything for the last 5, 6 years. And
Scripts are copied. Okay, you want to earn money on other people's hard work, and then you don't also want to promote these young people. You're buying their theaters, you're buying their opportunities, and these guys have nothing to do, and that's how you're ruling. Again, on the similar basis, I would like to also mention that it's the same thing with the music industry.
yeah,
uh,
which Sonu Nigam mentioned, I
there's a
mean,
huge banner in India,
two
which
big banners. I
come on,
understand.
everyone knows how big is T Series and how
Yes,
big influence it has
yes,
on the music
yes.
industry. I mean, no matter how talented singer you are, but your producer chooses you, but the music company does not want you, then you don't stand a chance, and that's crazy, man. No wonder you don't see those old singers anymore now in the mainstream
Yeah,
because
because probably they are frustrated enough. And that is the case. I mean, I don't want to stress much on that, but what I want to say is, come on, a singer sings a song. Vishal Dadlani said, I sing a song for you. The music company, I mean, it owns it. The Vishal Dadlani owns the song Das Bahane, even though it belongs to T Series. Come on, he made the song. You cannot like not give him a credit and go ahead and make. He went and said, "You cannot remake the song without my permission." Come on, just ask him. He made the song. I mean, he made the song. You cannot, you cannot not give him rights. You know, the problem is in India, the bigwigs are a few. If a Warner Brothers is making a movie, they are a studio. You know, they make co-productions. They don't solely own the film. So when a Warner Brothers is making a movie, even the director of the movie is a co-producer like a Christopher Nolan, anybody. So there are a lot of hands, there are a lot of hands for that one film. But in Bollywood, if Yash Raj Films is producing, it's only Yash Raj Films. So the entire mind is of one company. I mean, that collaboration doesn't happen in Bollywood much. In Bollywood, they don't allow the directors to become producers for the films.
because when you're co-producing, you get equal powers, and they don't want you to do that. They just want to control you somehow, to tie a string and make sure that you're not going too above and beyond.
A Netflix or Amazon Prime at least are giving chances to newer talents. I'm happy that at least after beyond all this, when I see guys like TVF, Screen Patti, I see Filter Copy, all these guys, at least it gives me a ray of hope that okay, these guys are casting newer talents. I don't know when they'll make films for theaters, but I think very soon you can see them making a film for Netflix or Amazon at least. And I think this is a good move. But I think as an audience, if you are complaining, you got to choose as well. I mean, if you are complaining so much that why do bigwigs, I mean, all this stuff, I mean, whatever we discussed, you reject the movies, you stop watching them, reject bad work.
That's also what their mentality is. Like, make whatever you want, they're going to watch. I mean, people are going to consume. So now, to boycott some singers, now they sing. Actors are singing, and people don't complain. People just listen and accept. And if
Bhai has
if there was a voice.
released 3 songs now during the
Exactly.
corona
If
lockdown.
there was if there was a voice, and if there was people had to really teach a lesson, they should just. I mean, the boycott Bollywood thing that is going on. I think you should just really do it. You want to make an effort and make a change with how the Bollywood is operating, then stop watching the star movies.
Shit.
I mean,
Yeah.
go for good stories, go for good acting, but don't go to watch a movie just because he is a big star and you just
I mean,
want to
audience
watch a
needs to
pure.
decide. Audience needs to use their own mind. I think even we are guilty of it. I am guilty of it. But the thing is, we were young. I mean, we always can improve. I mean, we are better versions of ourselves 5 years later. I mean, what happened 5 years back is different. But today, with so much content around, I think as an audience, we should reject shit because that encourages them to make more shit.
I saw Chaman Bahar, I saw Panchayat, and such fresh,
So
such
refreshing.
fresh stories. I mean, you wouldn't. I mean, this happens. That's real India. That's real stories. You know it, and you connect so easily. But still, if you just think about Jitendra Kumar going that big, and if he attempts to get into that kind of mainstream film line, I'm 100% sure there will be
He will face a lot of backlash. Like
a
he's a
lot.
fucking IITian. He is much more educated than I'm not comparing. I'm not saying you have to be an IITian, but he has a great mind. He has a great knowledge, and he has proved it. We have seen him. The amount of range he has, even though he has done sketches, the range of acting he has. I think many bigger Bollywood stars I think will not come close to him. I think for me, I mean, he is one of my favorite actors right now in India in Hindi Bollywood or whatever. Like I rate
He
him
is
in my top
such a good
five.
actor.
I rate him in my top three actually, and I would love to see a Jitendra Kumar doing a much bigger work. It does not have to be for a big studio. It's okay. We don't need a big studio to make his
No, but
film. I
that's
think
the problem, that's the problem. If he wants
but
to
yeah,
go,
why won't they? That is my. I think now the thing is now the bigger studios will wait for Jitendra Kumar to make 2 3 more movies, become more popular, and then they'll give him a
and
chance.
then they will
That
sign a
is the
contract.
problem. But they are ready to give a contract to the newcomers of Star Kids who have done very shitty job.
And you know what they say? They say that okay, we did casting, we did interviews, we found a lot of people, but then Star Kids look naturally fit for the role. I mean, how, how can you just say that's their perspective, right? You cannot just say that oh, Star Kids are ready, they know how the industry works, and okay, understood. They've been around because their parents are actors, producers, directors, so they know how the industry works. But that does not, make them a better actor, a better choice compared to the other ones who are struggling, who have left their jobs, left their homes. They're doing, they're passionate about what they're doing, and they're following it. But it's not these dialogues, which float around, like you work hard and you'll achieve. I don't think it actually happens in Bollywood. If you want to achieve that level, it just sounds good in the dialogues in the movies, but in real life in Bollywood, no. I mean, either you get depressed, you are alone, and they call you, they insult you, and they just leave you alone. That's what the big dark Bollywood does to
I hope it changes. I
talented.
mean, I think the change will have to come from the audience first, I think, because everyone needs to start introspecting and actually realize why. I mean, because for somebody to die of depression, I mean, there has to be something which you have done. We cannot, not talk about it. I mean, everything comes down to the circumstances why Sushant Singh Rajput died, and he felt the pressure. There was something in his mind. What would have happened?
I mean,
I mean,
his movie Mahendra Singh Dhoni, such a
how
great
beautiful.
movie, such
I
such
mean,
a
the last shot where he hits a six, he looks like Dhoni. I mean, come on, like
when you have such a good actor and when you hear such a news about this actor, it's really shocking. And yes, there is a Bollywood mafia. There is this controlled group of people who know or who on whose decisions things run. I think also nowadays I'm hearing that Arijit Singh's career is going down and that he's not getting much roles, sorry, much
I'm
much
I'm
songs,
hearing that.
much projects.
I hope it's not true. because I think I love hearing Arijit Singh's voice. It is one of the most beautiful voices in the country.
Amazing voice. It's such matured voice. It's such a great voice, but that person has so much power that they can throw you out of the industry, and that's that's basically the problem here. The only way this will change is when their movies start doing bad. When these, because at the end they all survive on money.
On survive on
When
money. So if as an audience we keep watching shit, they keep getting encouraged. So yeah, I mean it all starts with, I mean our role is to actually watch good stuff first. I mean everyone is free to choose what they want to watch.
exactly.
I'm actually saying to those people who come out and say that India does not make good movies, there are great movies. You're not watching them. That is my answer to them. I mean, obviously, there are people who would want to watch such films. Please go ahead and watch it. No one is stopping you. But then do not complain why we are not making good films, because we are producing good stuff every now and then. But they don't find the audience, and then the actor or the producer disappears.
There's another group. There are these group of journalists who are controlled by these guys, and they make shit articles about you. They write nonsense. They write things that don't exist, and they just float around rumors. They just murder you in that sense, and then you're gone. You're done. So that person, that actor who had a lot of dreams, who worked hard behind the story, who was expecting to go big, could not, just because there were other vultures just waiting for you to give up and thrash. I mean, it's very sad. A lot of young people now, after whatever happened, I'm definitely sure are scared, and even if they were dreaming big, they probably are more and more disappointed and sad that the industry does not accept you that way.
We have had a longer discussion. Guys in the audience, please put down in the comment section below, like, comment, and subscribe if you liked our content. If you think we could pick up more such topics, please let us know. We'll get back to you. And guys, as an audience, let's encourage these newer faces. Let's encourage these newer talents. Let's try to, I mean, be nice, be nicer to people. I mean, it's nice to make online jokes, but be nice, because somebody is going through something in his mind. Let's not do that. Let's be nice, let's be kind. And I think, I mean, for everybody to coexist, everybody needs to get a chance. Please subscribe to our channel BNB. Take care, be happy, stay safe, be nice. Thank you.
Ciao.